Okay. What do you want me to do? Make some sounds to test the audio?
No, I just clapped.
Oh, okay.
It's done.
It's done.
I did it.
Okay.
Hello everyone, I am here with my very good friend Tianna the Traveler. We are both full-time professional touring entertainers, and we do a lot of shows in different countries, in different places around the world, and I've been getting a lot of questions about travel hacks and ways that I run my company from different places in the world, and nobody knows more information about that than Tianna. So the two of us are here to kind of give you guys some tips, but also to share with each other, because I actually don't really know a lot about the way that you run your company abroad, but I'm guessing there's going to be some overlap.
I think there's a bunch of overlap. Yeah.
So how do we know each other?
Well, we know each other from Alberta, from both being based in Alberta, and the Alberta entertainment industry, and then running into each other all over the world, I think.
All over the world, such as Mexico in a little while, and LA, and that's it so far.
2 places in the world.
2 places in the world.
Yeah.
But that's, you know what, that's 2 other countries, so that's pretty good. And then probably the UK next year.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
So let's get into it, shall we? We have our go bags, our mobile office bags here, and we are going to unpack them and go through them for you. Are you ready, Tianna?
I am ready. You were the one that put me onto this. Yeah.
To the idea of a mobile office bag?
Yeah.
I inspired you.
You did.
All right, shall we unpack?
Let's unpack.
And go. So empty. Oh, a coin.
I had quarters in mine.
So our bags are now empty. Yours is a little bigger than mine, but I think yours has probably got a lot more stuff in it.
I do tend to carry more stuff. I think they're also proportional in relation to our body sizes.
What are you saying?
I'm a little bit taller.
A little bit. You're like twice my height. Okay, so we're going to go through sort of, I think it's best to go by pocket. What do you think?
Sure.
So let's start with the little pockets at the front, because every good mobile office bag is going to have lots of like nice little front pockets where you can put all of your little things so they don't get lost in your bag.
I have a question. What would you say the like main functions and priorities of your mobile office are?
Ooh.
Like, what are your overall uses? I can do mine first if you want.
You do yours first.
Okay, so I would say my mobile office functions both as like a briefcase, like literal mobile office that all my officing happens out of. But it also ends up being, you also called it a go bag, which I think is a great word.
It's a go bag.
Because it's right? It's also the thing that I have on the planes, right? And things like that, which is, I think, a slightly different function, surviving on a plane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think this isn't just a mobile office. It's also the go bag. It's also my personal carry-on bag for the plane, because you get a personal item and then you get a carry-on item. And so this is the personal item size.
Yeah.
For me. Is yours still personal item size?
I tend to push those boundaries.
Ooh. Mine is exactly, like if you slide it in the little compartment, it just fits.
I avoid the compartment at all costs.
You're so bad. Okay, so I agree. I think that, you know, it's a briefcase. It has all your office stuff in it. And it also has the stuff for the plane that you need. But for me also, like, if I'm going to go out for the day and get some real work done, if I'm going to go to someone's house, or if I'm at Kayla's recording a podcast, or if we're shooting this video, I want to have everything I need to create the content available to me at a moment's notice. Now, one thing I'm going to mention is that the camera that's usually in this bag, the little tripod that's usually in this bag, the microphone, and the little tripod the microphone goes on, and my computer are being utilized to record this video. So I will just mention those things, and then I will mime them.
Yeah.
Because they are being utilized. But I think that goes to show the level of functionality of my go bag, is that, you know, I'm using half the stuff in it right now.
Yeah.
So.
And it was easy to pull out and set up. That's my favorite thing about having a mobile office, is it's like, it's not just all crammed in a bag, it's laid out in a way where you're like, oh, I need that one cord.
So let's talk about the front pockets. So what do you have in your front little pockets?
This pocket I tend to keep available for like if I need to chuck my phone in it, or like things that I'm gonna need quick access to depending on the day. But I have more front pockets than you do.
How many front pockets do you have?
I mean, that depends what you constitute as a front pocket.
I have 3. I have this one, and I have this like zipper one in the middle.
Okay.
So I have what I would call is like, this is my ultra secure pocket because it's got a zipper, and then these ones are just magnetic clasps, which I love, so that if I'm throwing this is for like throwing stuff in.
Yeah.
So typically what I do, the that's the word. So this is like one of those like foldable extra bags, which are infinitely useful. And so I roll this up real little, which I wish I now did not unroll because I put so much time into it before. And so I just put this right at the bottom.
Nice.
You know, because I don't often need this. And then I'll put the pens and the pencils here on this side, my wallet, and then an envelope full of all of the denominations of money for the different countries I'm going to be in go in the zippery one. Also because I feel like this pocket is the least obvious. So if someone was going to go into my bag, I think that it would be likely they would not notice this was a pocket, but now everybody on the internet knows. And then this actually is my like mobile food thing. So usually this has a pair of chopsticks and a fork and a spoon in it, but they don't right now because they got lost. But they do have 2 metal straws, and I will replace those things before I go on the road next. And then this is a little hanky I got from a magician from Korea when I was at the Melbourne Magic Festival, and that goes in the top here. And then 2 charger banks for when things die. And then that's my whole front pocket, because I agree with you, it's nice to have space to just chuck stuff.
Yeah.
So I can still throw my whole phone in here, and it fits securely. But what's great is as soon as you slide something into these pockets, they automatically reseal because they've got the magnets.
That's a nice touch. My front pockets, like I said, I keep this one fairly open. And in this one here, I keep ear stuff, which sounds weird.
Okay.
But I've got my earplugs for the plane and my headphones. Because for me, I find those are like obscure little items that when I don't have them, I find it really upsetting. But also they're weird to like where do you keep your ear stuff? Right there.
Easy access ear stuff.
Right now, that's also where my luggage scale is living.
I need to start carrying a luggage scale.
Yeah, I don't know if you find this, but especially as like I'm an escape artist, my stuff is really heavy.
Yeah, my stuff is heavy.
So heavy. So yeah, so this is like the best because then you usually avoid the like airport disaster moment of having to do a repack at the baggage check-in.
I have gotten away with calling down to the front desk and borrowing a luggage scale for almost a whole year.
Wow.
But I need to stop doing that. I think I'm going to write down after this, buy a luggage scale. Because
nice.
which luggage scale specifically do you have?
Mine's not, it's a tracker.
Okay, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you got a good hardy one.
Yeah. Nice. Can I tell you about this pocket?
I love that.
Because this pocket's really cool, and I feel like this is a pretty unique pocket. So one of the things that happens for me is I have to travel with a bunch of rechargeable batteries. Sometimes I have to have an amplifier with me, and that needs to have like a big lithium battery. And some of my props have lights in them that need to have rechargeable batteries. So this is my battery pocket and my kind of techie pocket. This is everything that I need to like pull out really quickly at security other than the laptop.
Right, because Tianna does mostly street shows, but we also do indoor shows. But you have to be ready to go and have all your own stuff with you.
Yeah.
Whereas I perform as a character called Lucy, doing mostly galas and corporate events. So I usually have a mic provided for me. I don't have to carry batteries. So this is very important for you and for what you do.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Talking about street shows, that's a really great thing because when you're performing as a street performer, you're the performer, you're the stage manager, you're the technician, you're everything. If I run out of power on the street, it just destroys my day. So one of the things I love about this backpack, this is a new backpack. This is the North Face Resistor. I just got it at the end of my last tour. But it has a battery pack built in. So there's a Joey battery pack here that's built in, and it's got the access point right here.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's really nice. And all these little zip pockets that I keep open for my phone have access through to this pocket, so you can run the cords through. I know, right? So it's got the battery pack there. I put my Kindle or my tablet in this pocket, which is also accessible from the side. It's like magic. Did you see that?
That is like magic. That's great.
So that's there. We'll zip that up. And that's where I also put my lithium batteries that are rechargeable. I like to keep my iPhone charging cable really handy in this front pocket.
Hardcore.
This is a hardcore cable. This is a Kevlar coated cable.
That's intense.
Yeah, because I just break things.
Yeah, I also break things.
Yeah, I really like it. And it's also got a little handy Velcro strap so you can like tie it up and it doesn't get messy. Yeah. So that guy lives in there. And I keep my laptop cord in here as well, just because this is the most accessible.
So
pocket.
we have the same laptop, but you have not attached to this piece, like the longer cord.
Yeah, I just leave that one at home.
You leave that one at home. I actually have started traveling with it because I find that wherever I am, when this is plugged into the wall, that wasn't enough length for me. So I actually, I have sacrificed quite a bit of bulk so that I can have more length wherever I'm going. But I think it's interesting that you were just like, we're going to have the little ones. Does that often mean that you're stuck to the wall on your laptop?
Yeah, sometimes. Probably means that I ride the battery a bit more on the laptop. We'll fill it up. We'll drain it down. We'll fill it up. We'll drain it down.
I can't be trusted with batteries, so I need the cord.
What else goes in this pocket? Ooh, one of the things that's really exciting that I'm doing right now is I'm actually going to take a little vacation on the way to my next gig. I'm going to go back to my backpacker roots and do a little week of backpacking in Mexico. Now, when I used to do a lot of backpacking, I had like a whole hosteling toiletries set. But I don't carry that anymore because I don't stay in hostels a lot anymore. So the last gig that I did at the hotel, I took all the little travel soaps and shampoos.
Nice.
And I've just decided those are coming with me to the hostel in Mexico. So those are in this pocket right now.
That's great.
And that's that pocket.
So you got all your little pockets done?
Yes.
Okay, so are you going to go into the next pocket?
Yeah.
So on my bag, and I think it's the same on your bag, the next pocket is a full pocket, but it has like lots of mini compartments.
Yes.
Okay, so mine has a mesh compartment here, and then these 3 little sort of, I think they're for, this one's for a charger. They have little labels on them, like what they're supposed to be, but no. So
you make your own choices.
I make my own choices. So I just cram this into the mesh pocket, because there's just no point in trying to wind it, and it just sits flat as soon as the mesh pocket is closed anyway. And then these top 3 pockets, I have 2 terabyte hard drives, that go in, and then they're padded so they won't get damaged. And then this goes in the other one. This is very special. This is when you get into Sugru is a really cool product. It comes in a little tin, but the tin is bigger than it needs to be. So there are also wing nuts and bulldog clips and safety pins and other stuff in here that I might need, and rubber bands and stuff like that. But have you ever used Sugru?
You've told me about Sugru. I don't think I've used it.
Great. It can be used as an adhesive. It's basically an air dry silicone that you can mold into whatever you want, and is also adhesive. But once you open this package, because it's air dry, it's gonna dry out. So I have several of them.
Ooh, they're different colors.
They're different colors. You can even color coordinate. So for me, it means when something breaks, I can mold an extra leg. I can mold a hook onto something. So this has become a very important, useful tool for me, especially as a performer, because often a prop will break, and I know that I have what is basically a fast dry glue and also a molding putty to make whatever I need to make last minute. So that goes into this pocket over here, which is normally where you would put, I guess, your 3rd charger thingy, because that seems to be what the logos suggest, but I don't listen to those. And then in the main pocket here, because the mesh bags are all on the top, it leaves an empty space below. I usually put the podcasting microphone and the stand for the podcasting microphone in that area. So that's usually this first pouch.
Nice. I have kind of an equivalent pouch. It was actually seeing that made me go, ooh, I want this backpack. Mine opens a little further.
Oh, it's also got the mesh bag. Look, at twinsies.
So this is where I put my kind of useful access stuff. I have a really severe asthma. Yeah, I actually have a bunch of really bizarre medical things that mean I shouldn't be an escape artist, and I just love just kicking them in the butt. So that's where I keep my inhaler, and a little bit of like shea butter for like lips, hands, whatever gets dry based on the climate you're in, because sometimes I'll literally be in a rainforest and then be in a desert a few hours later.
I love traveling.
Advil, and then that's also where my wallet goes, in my front mesh pocket, and I like it because it's really close to the top, so I can just go zip zip.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what lives in my mesh pocket. And then this is where I've got all my little separated pockets. I like to keep a bunch of carabiners handy, because you just never know when you're going to need to clip something.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
And it has little hooks for them already.
I know.
It's such a great bag for you.
I love it.
That is totally the Tianna version of this.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Hard drive, right? Essential. So I tuck that guy in here with the cord. And then this one is where I keep a thumb drive, which are kind of archaic now, interestingly.
Yeah, but they're still a good
just
backup.
In case. They're often nice to like hand music to when I'm doing indoor shows. Yeah. And that's where I keep my little like wall plugs as well in this guy here. And my micro USB. This is great because it's got all these little clippy little loops and stuff. So I keep some pens for when we need to write things down old school. Pens!
Are both of your pens stolen from a hotel like my pens?
I think one's stolen from a hotel and one's like borrowed from a friend that stole it from a hotel.
I think this is from the Marriott, and then I have one that's from the Grand or something.
Ooh, I've got a Parktown, Saskatoon and a Fairmont, Victoria.
They're both stolen.
They're all stolen.
Yeah. This is what happens when you go into it. Those pens are meant to be taken.
I think so.
I really hope so. I'm currently staring at like a fancy Marriott pen over there because I was in a fancy Marriott room.
Ooh.
They have two kinds of pens.
Based on your room?
Based on your room.
Oh.
Yeah, they have fancier pens.
Were you in the fancy room or did you just like walk past the cleaning cart?
No, I was in the fancy room. Although, I'm not above taking a pen if I need a pen.
Cool. So here's my micro USB, which is also like easily accessible because I feel like as like an Apple user, but also someone that has batteries to charge and things like that, you've got to have like a classic micro USB easily accessible.
Yeah.
But that's secondary to the iPhone cord. I also keep some of my Tianna cards. I'm really bad for keeping cards on me.
That's nice.
Yeah. So do you have one of the new ones?
I do.
Good.
I do have one of the new ones. I think I got them right away when you printed them because I came to visit.
You got the first, fresh off the press?
I think I got one of the first ones.
Nice. So yeah, I'm trying to keep those guys on hand more. So when people are like, do you have a card? The answer is yes.
But it's this big.
Yeah, it doesn't fit in your wallet. They're postcards. I travel.
Smart.
And I'm really proud. I've managed to slim down to a much smaller pencil case. I used to have a really complex one that had Post-it notes and highlighters.
Really pretty too.
I know. It also says on it, it's almost worn out because it was very cheap, but it says, I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. So here's the thing from the 90s that is still really popular in Australia. These pens with all the different colored inks.
I like how that one's all baby.
This one's all the
colors.
like the baby colors, and this one is all the grown-up colors. But it's basically like having 8 pens.
It's really cute.
And a pencil and a Sharpie and a highlighter. Perfect. And those guys go in here. And I've got glasses. And my little coin wallet. That guy goes in here. And here's a fun thing. So this is one of those little doohickeys that you can clip your keys onto so you don't lose them. And on here, I always keep a little tiny Swiss Army knife because it's got little mini scissors on it.
They don't take it away from you?
I usually try to put it in my check bag when I fly.
Ah.
Yeah, I have lost one of them once before. I think that's a pretty good record.
That's pretty good, yeah. For considering how much you travel. I usually lose one of those little pairs of scissors every year. Because some, even though they're TSA approved, one will take them.
Someone doesn't know.
Someone doesn't.
And this is a little good luck charm. This is a little, this is the Lalibela cross from Ethiopia that a friend gave me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
What's next?
Okay, next bag. Next pocket. Next pocket. So my next pocket is just a big open pocket. I think the other thing you're going to notice with both of our bags is that the insides are not black, which is a little thing you don't think you need until you can't find stuff. And so I really recommend that you get a bag that has a colored inside, and then you find things that aren't black to put in them. So my second pocket contains this.
Oh, this is so good.
This is my Bag Smart Kit, which I bought on a whim and now cannot live without. So these are all my cords in one place, and like I said, having a colored inside for the bag makes a big difference. So I have 2 of the Apple proprietary cords because I have an iPad and an iPhone. I have 2 of the USB 3 for the hard drive so I can have them both plugged in and I can transfer information if I need. Here I usually have a mini USB, which is currently right now plugging the microphone in. And then here I have 2 of the micro USB, one really short one and one longer one. And then this is a multi-cable that I got when I performed at the Magic Castle. They just give them to you. And 2 things. One, it's useful as a backup. And 2, it means so much to me, so I can't throw it away.
No.
And then I have a regular pair of headphones and then a USB or a Bluetooth pair of headphones.
Nice.
Which when I travel, I like having both because if I'm going to be on a long flight, they're going to die. So I'll just use the regular headphones to listen to audiobooks and things like that. But having the freedom to be able to move away from my device or kind of shift around if I'm going to be on a shorter flight, like a 4-hour flight, I'd rather use my Bluetooth headphones. Or if I'm going to the gym or something, I like having the Bluetooth headphones. So I like having both. And then I have the little charger for the Bluetooth headphones along with them, and then the wall charger that you have, the same one, kind of all in this kit. And then tend to put the camera here. I'm using a Lumix D something, I'll put it in the description below, and that folds down and goes right here, and then the little stand it's on also goes in here, so I can zip the whole thing up, have everything organized, and then it just slides perfectly, oh look at that, into that middle compartment and sits at the bottom, which only fills up not even half the space.
Nothing.
Which means I have room for my bullet journal. Have you gotten into bullet journals yet?
No, though I feel like I'm a little bit bullet journal-y.
They're so great.
Yeah.
Bullet journals are so great. I'm not going to get into it here because I could talk about it for an hour, but I think the bullet journal for me is great because it's a space to sketch or to write notes or to keep track of things. It kind of does everything in one unit, and that sits right in front. And then I have this, which is my airplane go bag. And it is bright so that I can immediately find it. And it has just things I need on the plane or things that I'm going to want to put beside my bed at the hotel, so that this is sort of a little go kit as well. And it has a toothbrush and then the toothy tabs from Lush, so that it's not liquid, so they can't take it away from me. But also, I don't want to use this toothpaste all the time because it's not my favorite.
Right. So
this is sort of my backup. And a little toothbrush. I don't even use electric toothbrushes anymore because I spent so much time on the road recharging them, and it's just not worth it. So
they're heavy.
They're heavy. I just use regular ones. So then I have an eye mask, and I have sunglasses, and I have Wet Ones antibacterial wipes, as well as the ones I got from the Magic Castle because I'm a little sentimental. I have deodorant. I have one of these Wow stain remover sticks. Have you seen these?
No.
These are very cool for traveling because, again, it's not liquid. But you can rub it on, basically you just get it a little bit wet, and you rub it onto the stain, and then you massage the stain out, and it's the best thing I've ever used.
Cool.
Whereas the Tide pens are liquid, and they stink.
And they expire real bad.
But this won't ever expire. It's really great. It's all natural. So you just wet the stain area, rub the Wow stick into it, agitate, and then you're done. And it smells like lavender.
Oh.
So I love this. And then I have a little flashlight for on the plane when I'm looking through stuff. I have a little comb if I want to brush my hair. And then I have these wonderful earplugs, these fancy moldable ones. Have you seen these?
No.
So these you mold and you actually put over the surface of your ear. Because I found the ones that go in your ear, they eventually hurt. So I would wake up after 3 or 4 hours because my ear would be sore, but these actually go over the surface of your ear. And there was 2 babies scream crying at each other on either side of me on a plane, and I slept for 6 hours with these. They're really, really good. And then I just have little things like the flossers and a couple of hair ties and some bobby pins in here. But this is basically just so that I have what I need on the plane to feel comfortable. And it packs down real small. And this is not my main toothbrush. I have another toothbrush in my other kit. This is just for the plane.
This is your I'm over the Pacific Ocean and my mouth feels bad.
Exactly. And then it goes into that middle bag as well. And then I still have room at the top for my coffee mug to slide it in. And I do actually carry a coffee mug and a water bottle because I find that if you put water in your coffee mug, it tastes like coffee.
Yeah.
It's you know.
Also, sometimes I want to hydrate at the same time.
Yeah, and dehydrate. This one's really great. It's made of 80% recycled material, and it has the best latch I've ever used in my entire life. So there's a little bit of liquid in there right now, and
nice.
It's amazing.
Nice.
It's kind of amazing, but it does mean, we were talking about this yesterday, if I don't wash it, it's really bad. So I have to really be careful to wash it and keep an eye on it. And so then that goes in my middle pocket.
Ooh. I'll tell you about my middle pocket. So my middle pocket also has another top mesh zip.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is fun. So this is where I keep my passport. Oh. And I'm a big fan of these underwater zip lock safe bags. Because it's not like a big bulky passport cover, but I learned the hard way through a bad rainstorm in Russia a couple years ago. Ooh. That if your passport gets wet, it's damaged in any way, including water damage, it's a real hassle to replace. Wow. Yeah. So I really like these because it's not a big deal. It's really simple, and it just slides right in there. And that's where I also keep my travel cash.
Nice.
As well. Yeah. Also in one of these, even though it doesn't really zip up on the envelope, but
it's good enough.
The bags came in a 2-pack. So also in my middle pocket, I travel with way too many notebooks. And right now I actually have an extra one. That one's actually going to go into storage. So we'll set that aside. So when you ask, like, do I bullet journal? I've kind of always liked that. This one's a bullet journal, and it's my first one. Yeah. Now, I've always liked journals without any lines.
Yeah, sketch journals.
Yeah, because then you can do whatever you want with them. So I've got my my sort of like writing journal, my kind of like general useful thing. I've got this awesome productivity tool that I bust out every now and then when I need to get things done. And then I've got my like personal life musings journal. I do not like the shape of this journal. It is way too heavy. My goal is to finish it in Mexico, and then I don't have to carry it around anymore.
Nice.
So those guys all live in here. And stacked nicely. And this is a really nice big middle pocket. I also keep in here, this is GoPro that I just got from her because she's got this fancy new camera.
Yeah, I don't need it anymore. So she gets the GoPro.
So that's in here now. And ooh, I forgot a thing. We'll come back to that. This is my kind of general go bag. I used to carry like an airplane go bag really similar to that, and I've really slimmed down. This is a few sort of things that I might need, like bobby pins, hair clips, hair elastics, lip chap, but it's also just things that make me happy. Like, like just little comforts, right? Like some lavender oil.
That's nice.
Yeah, and like, like a tiny sample mascara from the Bay and a lip liner and a couple of MAC lipsticks, just so that like, if I'm somewhere and I just want to put on some lipstick and feel a little less travel weary, I've just got the things.
Yeah, sometimes after 13 hours on a plane, you just want to put on mascara because your eyes look so tired. I just want to believe that I'm not disgusting.
Yeah,
I get that completely.
Oh, and I also have a travel toothbrush. It's in here with my other stuff right now, because it's it's right here. But it's living in here with my other stuff, with my passport and my cash right now, just because it's too long to fit in here, right? But it would normally be in here. And then the bit that I forgot actually goes in this guy. Back to my tech pocket. And this is my equivalent of your little cord bag, but it's also my fix-it bag.
Oh, it's all in the same spot.
Yeah, so it's got all my extra charging cables for things, like a multi-cable, which is great. But it's also got like a flexible tape measure, which is just really useful to fix things and measure things.
The fact that that's not wound up is driving me crazy. I'm gonna sneak into your room in the night and wind up your...
I packed real fast this trip, so feel free. And it's also got my tiny sewing kit.
Oh, that's such a great little sewing kit.
Yeah. So it's held together with an Australia Day wristband.
My sewing kit goes in my main bag because I don't often. Yeah. I don't sew on the plane very often. So.
I just like having it. I feel like it just gets lost between my show kit and my main bag, and I just like having it in with all the other kind of technical things.
Yes, it's super cute. Yeah. And I think the important thing here is that both of us have made our own sewing kit, because if you just buy the pre-made ones, everything is the cheapest version of that thing. Yeah. And I would rather have real thread, a real bobbin, or like a real whatever thing, bobbin threader. Yeah, needle threader, whatever that thing is. I'd rather have a really nice one. I'd rather have a really nice everything, because you're going to only have 6 of them, so you might as well have good ones. Yeah, absolutely. And I like that it's got this little fabric sort of pincushion needle holder sheath that I made when I was like 12. So cute.
Yeah, and thread and spare buttons and thimbles and safety pins and all the... and one thing that I really like is having... regular thread, and then also a spool of black or brown upholstery thread.
Oh, for what?
fixing anything that needs to be more hardy. So fixing your backpack, fixing belts, shoes, anything like that. Something that just needs to be a little bit stronger and tougher.
Yeah, it's a little harder on the road to replace things, so it's nice to be in a situation where you can repair.
Yeah, even if it's
the Sugru.
Yeah, even if it's just a holdover fix.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna give you one of the Sugrus.
Can I have the red one to fix my treasure box?
You want it?
Maybe.
I'll make sure to give it to
you.
Okay. Sharing.
And that is my my middle pocket.
Okay, so my big pocket, which is got this fantastic lining in it, so that I don't have to have a separate bag to put my laptop in, because it's got that like smooth, no scratchy scratch, super padded. And this is the one that goes against my back too, so it's got quite a bit of padding, which I loved about this bag, because I find a lot of these super square bags don't have a lot of padding and they're not comfortable to carry around, but this one actually has a lot of padding on the back, really, really squishy, and then also it sits right above my tailbone. So it doesn't, you know, how if a bag is too long, it sort of sits over your butt weird, and then you have this weird thing where it bangs up against your back.
I don't have that problem.
I do, because I'm short.
Very tall.
Some of the people watching are also short. Making sure the bag is the right height for you, I think, is extremely important, because if it's not comfortable, you won't use it at all.
I actually have the opposite problem. If a bag's not long enough, I find it really messes with my posture and my upper back. So get a bag that fits.
Get a bag that fits. So I also forgot something. So this is where I put all of my paper things. Because when you're on the road, people give you keepsakes or letters, or I get, you know, mail. I come home, I grab the mail, I don't deal with it, and so I put the mail in here, business cards, whatever, or notes, or right now there's a script and some notes on Georgia Magnet, different things in here. And this is just from the Container Store, and they're really, really cheap, but they take up absolutely no room. And I don't actually keep it in my laptop bag. I keep it in the bag in front of it, but I forgot to put it in there because I usually put it in last. And then this back pocket is where I put the laptop and the iPad. I've gone back and forth between carrying an iPad and not carrying an iPad, because it is quite a bit of weight and I don't use it a ton. The reason I have carried it is because it has my full sound cue set up in Go Button for all of my shows. And I have that backed up on my phone, but I think it's a lot easier if you just hand a full iPad to the DJ and it's got all the information on it, and I don't have to worry about giving them my personal phone. So what I have done is I've tried to find other uses for this over the last couple of months. So now I do some productivity stuff on here, and I do some other little things, and I've downloaded programs that I can use on the iPad, because I realized I was really only using this to hand to people to run my sound. So I'm still mixed about the iPad, but
the jury's out.
The jury's out, but I have tried to give it the smallest possible case, so it takes up very little room. So that goes in here with the computer, which I'm currently using, so I'm not going to put that in there. And when I zip it all up, it's really nice because it's all square.
Oh.
But it is 1,000 jillion pounds.
Mine is too.
That's very heavy.
Yeah.
And then this is my pillow.
Ooh.
I love this pillow. I got it at a place in Australia. I think I've had every single kind of travel pillow. Very soft fabric.
Yeah.
So here's what I like about this one. This is the lowest tech one I've ever had. Because I had the microfoam squishy memory foam one, microfiber squishy foam, that was maybe $50. And then I gave that away. And then I had the one that has the 3 prongs, and I gave that one away. And then I had just a traditional blow-up one, but they've always got that seam on it that cuts you.
Yeah.
What I like about this is that the clip on it is super hardcore. It matches my bag, so if it falls off, people assume it's mine.
Ooh.
And that's something I didn't really think about until I realized it all looks like the same unit.
Yeah.
So people assume that it's mine. It just hangs off of this, but if I need to, I can also strap it around so that it doesn't bang into things, or I can use it to add padding. So if I want to, I can strap it around the bag and then have an elevated cushion that is more lumbar support. It goes around the neck and it snaps, and then also I can go around my arm and snap and line it around things, and it just, I know it's basically just a bolt of fabric with foam in it, or just squishy noodly things, but I love it. It's just so simple. I didn't realize that all the tech in the world was not what I wanted. I just wanted like a snaky.
You've got to find the thing that fits you.
So some general things that I think have made my life really easy with the travel bag is that as soon as I no longer need an item, I get rid of it. So basically, I didn't need the GoPro anymore because I bought a new camera, and you mentioned that you needed a GoPro, and so now she has the GoPro, which originally I got from my friend Tony, who is also our friend Tony, who is also another performer. So one of the things I've been doing is that you acquire cables, you acquire pens, there's all of these objects that just sort of enter your life in a kind of an accidental, haphazard way. I'm really focused on trying to have one mini cord, 2 micro USBs, 2 Apple proprietary, trying to really only have the things I need, because otherwise you notice quickly that you just accumulate stuff. So I'm always asking myself, is this object necessary? And sometimes it's tough because there's something that you brought with you on the road that you're thinking, this will be the thing, it's going to be so great. Like, you have a Kindle. I no longer bring my Kindle with me. And I spent years going through my Kindle, and I realized recently, I like books.
Yeah.
I like a book. And so I kind of have 2 kinds of books. I have a book I'm going to read for pleasure, and then I'm going to like gift to the world. I'm going to leave it at a coffee shop or something. Or I have books that people have signed, magicians have signed for me, and I want to read those books, and then I want to bring them back home and put them in my storage unit and keep them, or, you know, I want to keep them for posterity. But a Kindle just... I want to be the kind of person that can read off of a Kindle, but it just doesn't have the same satisfying feeling that a book does. So I had to be honest with myself and give up the Kindle, even though I really desperately wanted to be the kind of person that could read on a Kindle.
Can I tell you about my Kindle?
Yes.
I literally only pick up my Kindle when I'm traveling. I forget that I own it when I'm at home.
Really?
Because I like books. But part of the problem was that I just hated traveling with books. You see how many notebooks I already have. Like, my book quota, it's full. So I just stopped reading.
Oh, wow.
And it was so fascinating how quickly my vocabulary deteriorated, my ability to structure an argument. It was awful. And so I just went, I'm going to get a Kindle. I'm not going to get an iPad because then I can get distracted and I can work. I'm going to get a Kindle because then all I can do is read on it.
Oh, that's smart.
So I can still like put everything away and just like cuddle up and just have a thing that's a reading thing, which is really nice. But it means that I've actually started reading again. And I still have a bookshelf at home. I still read real books at home when I make the time. But it means that I actually read when I have free time on the road. And for me, I'm like, it's better to read than not read.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. I've set it up so that I tempt myself into reading by giving myself only one book at a time. So right now I'm reading The Dance, which is a book about mentalism that was gifted to me by another magician. I'm about halfway through, and I'm so excited to finish it. It is a good book. I would totally finish it on its own, but I'm reading it a little bit faster because there's a book that's about to come out by Hank Green, and I really want to read that next. So I find that if I only give myself one book at a time, then I'll read more.
I think that what we've been talking about, both with books and Kindles and cords and backpacks and kind of everything, is like, have one good version that you use.
Yeah.
And if you have a thing, even if it's sentimental or it was really expensive, like, find a way for it to rehome, because it's just stuff.
It's just stuff. I'm a big fan of gifting things that no longer have a use to you, so that it doesn't just become garbage.
Yeah.
And really trying to gift it to somebody who can actually use it, so that you're not... Because once you give someone a gift, they feel obligated to keep it. So I try not to give something to somebody that I don't think will use it. And then the other thing is the camera app on my phone has become a fantastic tool for keeping memories of things. So if somebody writes me like a handwritten letter, I will put that in my paper bag and take it home. But if it's something funny, like a funny card or something that doesn't have any, like a handwritten message in it or something, I would rather just take a picture of it and then recycle it, as sad as that might sound, because I still have the memory of it. It's still going to go into the cloud. It's still something I can reference. It's still something I can remember. But it cuts down on half of the paper I end up carrying home. Because, you know, when you go traveling for a month, you come home with a lot of paper souvenirs somehow. Every single time I have 1,000 pieces of paper to put into a collage, and then it doesn't end up all making it into the collage or the board. It just ends up in a box.
Yeah, and then you end up with all these boxes which start to be emotional baggage, basically. And then you go to move, and you're like, why do I have all this stuff?
Yeah. You have one more pocket.
I have one more pocket. We didn't do my laptop pocket. So, this is my laptop pocket. What I love about it, it opens really nice. All the way.
That's really nice.
It's also got this, like, fuzzy padded stuff, which is actually really cool because this backpack, both of these front phone pockets have that same padding, and the tablet pocket. So it's got all your tech covered. In here, I of course put my laptop in the sleeve, and I've also got like a duotang that I keep my papery bits in, and I like this because it's got kind of different sections I can tuck things into. So that lives there as well. I also have a fold-up smaller backpack because I really try when I'm touring and performing to, if I'm somewhere cool, like go away and hike, get away from the people, just so that I can refresh and refill and have more energy and more of me to give when I go back to performing. One of my favorite things between when I'm touring internationally is if I have a gig like here and then I have a gig a few hours away and I have days between them, I love renting a car and just driving and camping out of the car or staying in little hotels. Yeah, and just being on a journey. But that said, if I want to hop out and do a day hike, I don't want to take all of this. So I have this great little tiny fold-out backpack from Mountain Equipment Co-op. It can actually fold up much smaller than this. It can it's got this small zip pocket at the top that is about this size. The whole backpack can fold into that pocket, and that can become the case that it's held in. But it's actually, it's got 3 zips, so you have 3 different pockets, and I just fold it. Oh, and it's got the water bottle holders on the side.
It's nice.
So I just fold it in half, and I just leave it in this pocket here, so that if I need to hop out and do another thing, I can do that. I can just go on a little day hike.
That's great.
Yeah. A couple of other features about this bag that I really like. It's got the snaps on the side that kind of help cinch the whole thing down, because as you see, I load it well.
That is full.
Yeah, it's also got water bottle pockets on the side, so I like to travel with a great big water bottle, great big metal water bottle, and I also travel with a coffee mug. I actually left it over there, but I travel with this great, cute, it's only like 8 ounces. Are you going to get it? She's going to get it.
We just went for coffee, so.
We just went for coffee. I just rinsed it. Thank you. I also got this at Mountain Equipment Co-op, which is a Canadian outdoors company that I love. Mech. Yeah. Hilariously, it matches the inside of the bag, which I think is really funny. But I'm really picky about my coffee, and so what I like about this is that if I order the coffee that I want, this is the size it should be. So it just takes some of the guessing out.
We're both flat white drinkers.
Yeah. Thank you, Australia and New Zealand.
Ruins us.
What I like about this, which is really counterintuitive, I used to have a very different coffee mug. I used to have a Contigo, which was really well sealed. What I like about this is it's actually not the greatest seal, but it's really small, so I'm going to finish the coffee. Which means that it doesn't leak along the edge here, but this little seal that seals the mouth bit might leak a few drops, which means I'm going to rinse it. I'll finish the coffee, I'll rinse it, and then I'll tuck it in here. And this is actually small enough that I usually have a cutlery set as well, and that can tuck in here next to the cup, which is great.
I love traveling with my own cutlery because you'd be shocked how often you need it.
Yeah.
And also, it cuts down on waste.
It does.
I know that there's a few things in my bag that are not great for waste. For example, the wet wipes. And I use the individual flossers. Those are not great. Those are not great for the environment. But I find traveling with a spool of floss very frustrating because often your fingers are really dirty and I don't have hand sanitizer. And so I like being able, I'm a bit of a obsessive flosser. I floss a lot. And with the wet wipes, I mean, you and I both have been in the situation where you're covered in mud or oil and you need to not be. It's disgusting. Being a traveler is being dirty all the time. But it's amazing how often having your own spoon, having your own fork, because then you don't have to use the plastic cutlery, but also often I'm in the hotel room trying to eat leftovers and I've got nothing, you know?
Yeah. That's my phone ringing.
Do you need to answer?
I think I just have one more thing to say and then we can wrap up. So the last thing that I was going to say, speaking of how a bag fits you, I'm really, I know it's so padded and cushy. I'm really particular about having a waist strap. That's partially because I have spinal deformation. Yeah.
There's a lot.
all the things that I like to overcome. I also have a really long spine and a really long back. So it's really important to me how things fit. So this waistband makes sure that the bag weight sits on my hips and isn't pulling on my shoulders. And then it has a chest strap as well that keep the straps in the right place. And that's just really important to me.
That's really great.
Yeah.
This has been, for me, a big game changer because it means that I can show up at someone's house and record a podcast, or I can show up and do a video like we're doing right now in our Airbnb, and it's all in one bag, and I don't have to repack. Yeah. I can get off the airplane and go. I know where things are, and also I find, and I don't know if this is true for you, I can pack in half the time because I know where things are supposed to go.
Yeah.
And because I've spent so much time eliminating all of the things that are unnecessary. So what happens for, I think, a lot of people who travel is that you bring a lot of things you think you're going to need, you take them out of your bag, and because you don't need them, they get all over the place. And then when you repack, you forget about them because they don't have a place that they belong, and you didn't need them anyway, so they're not top of mind. Everything I've ever left behind, for the most part, was a thing I didn't really need or was not the right thing. So I got this new camera because I left my SLR somewhere.
Oh no.
But I had used that SLR for 6 years, and it had been the perfect camera for 6 years. And now I'm on the road a lot more. I needed something that was more travel friendly and kind of was better for vlogging, which is what this is. So I'm actually not upset I lost the camera. 6 years is a really good amount of time to use something, and it gave me permission to kind of upgrade to something that was more effective.
It seems to me like a couple of the themes of what we've been talking about is find a bag, but also just items. Mm-hmm. Find a bag and find items that fit not only your needs, but also your behavior. Because those will be the things that are the most useful for you. Like with me in the coffee cup, right? I know that I'll drink the whole coffee and then I'll rinse it. Things like that.
Yeah, you have to really think about the way you actually act. There's a ton of stuff in your bag that is cool, that I get excited about, but I know would not be useful to me because I just don't have that kind of a lifestyle. I don't travel that way. I mostly stay in nice hotels or at friends' houses or fancy Airbnbs. Not because I'm precious, but because it's just sort of how things work out for me. So
I like staying in every possible kind of place under the sun because I love adventure.
Oh, that's so cool.
I literally went from sleeping on a floor, just a floor in Auckland, to like sleeping in a king size bed on a mansion overlooking the ocean with marble statues the next day once. It was the best!
I love that. So if this was helpful, then let us know in the comments down below if there's anything that you would like us to cover in the future. We're going to be in Mexico together in a few weeks so we can make more videos. And if you really enjoyed this and learning about our mobile office tendencies, we're actually going to make a secondary video on Tianna's channel. We hope you guys had fun. Thank you so much for joining me, Tianna. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for doing this.
I think it's good. I know it's very long, but this is the kind of video I used to watch like crazy before I started hitting the road. And a lot of the information was not practical for performers. So hopefully this is a good resource for people.
Thanks. Bye. Happy travels.